Self-chill, poison, lightning strike, Pathfinder. What a mouthful of a build, but also a fun one once you get it up and set up properly. I've always wanted to do a self-chill build, but the gearing has always been so strict, and to make it work was always such a pain. But with the combinators being added this league and crafting being easier than ever, I figured I'd give it one more go, this time with a little bit of an extra twist. Before we go into the mechanics of how it all fits together, I'm going to give you a brief warning about the build. Without Headhunter, you can't do juicy maps. This means 80 Delhi and Delirium Mirrors on Tropical Island. If you were looking for a fun Elk and Go character, then this is still a great pick, but the budget to have some very nice gear and to get it super comfy is probably going to run you about 30 exalts on the top end. Personally, I think this meme build is a ton of fun, but since it really only shines with Headhunter and a pair of Despair on-hit Asenath gloves for juicy content, you're starting to really pay the price for a meme self-chill build. So we're Poison Lightning Strike, which can be a little bit confusing, with only physical or chaos damage normally able to poison enemies. But if we use the pneumatic dagger base, our elemental damage can actually poison enemies as well. This is useful because we can obtain a lot of flat elemental damage by stacking it, and it also allows us to abuse Blizzard Crown without suffering any of the downside, since we're still dealing chaos damage over time with our poisons, even if the poison is applied with elemental damage. Then, if we use the golden rule to poison ourselves and a Watcher's Eye mod to not become immune to poison, but to become unaffected, then we can use Ice Fang Orbit to chill us while we are poisoned, and a Winter Weave to reverse the effective chill on ourselves, which gives us up to 30% action speed, right? That's a lot of tailwinds. Poison is a really good candidate for self-chill because Unbound Ailments linked to your main poison damage link is going to let our Lightning Strike have increased effective ailments on hit, which also applies to our self-chill. So it's super easy with Awaken Unbound Ailments to be able to hit the 30% self-chill ailment cap without too much investment at all on our gear. The reason we go Pathfinder is for the free poison proliferation and, more important to me, the flask tech. If you don't know what the flask tech is, the TLDR is that it's the most busted recovery in the game for mapping. You use Flagellant's on-hit flask charge generation with the flask enchant use on full and Pathfinder's Master Surgeon to heal yourself 6% life every single time your flask goes off. So anytime you get hit by a spell or an attack, your flask get charges, they get used on full charges, and boom, you get more life. We're also going to use a Forbidden Jewel from Raider to give us 40% spell suppression and always phasing called Quartz Infusion, which makes another great reason to want to play a Ranger build. We can free up as much spell suppression on our gear entry as possible to make this self-chill work. One of the super fun parts of doing juiced content with this build is how easily you can get down to 10 FPS by abusing the Vaal Lockout sextant. If you don't already know, this is the most broken sextant in the game, allowing any Vaal build to have Hate Forge. Again, these sextants are only 4 chaos each right now, and if you're farming any juiced content at all with a Vaal skill gem, this would allow you to spam that Vaal skill gem as if you're back in Ultimatum, the good old days, and you've got your Hate Forge gloves back on again. Since Vaal Lightning Strike is scaled with attack speed and we have reverse chill giving us 30% action speed, the Vaal Lightning Strikes on this build absolutely shit out VLS beams, which is so fun to play around with, but it will crash the fuck out of your computer if you have any Soul Leader stacks at all. But isn't that just half the fun of playing Path of Exile? Now let's do a quick overview of how this build scales. We are going to scale off of flat elemental damage for our initial poison chaos damage over time, but the poison still deals chaos damage over time, so we're going to have to scale that with chaos damage over time multi, and generic dot multi. We'll also scale this with crits and crit multi by abusing Perfect Agony to change our crit multi to apply the damage over time multi as well. We also get outrageous amounts of crit multi from Nightblade, as well as Elusive on crit, which we can cycle with our Wither Step for elusive damage avoidance, move speed, and wither stack applications. We'll be clearing the maps by shooting out our melee projectiles, popping Plague Bearer, and using a combination of the Chaos Explosion from our Large Cluster Jewel mod, Unspeakable Gifts, and the Asenath's Physical Explosion. Our Whirling Blades is fast as fuck, so we can easily zoom around the map all while doing this. Our defenses are going to be about 20k armor, elusive damage avoidance, Taste of Hate Fizz taken as, boosted by our flask effect, and the flask tech keeping us topped off at all times, alongside triple elemental flask providing us huge elemental mitigation And of course, most important of all, Headhunter buffs. One last thing I have to explain about Lightning Strike is what makes it such a great ability to get enough damage that you can do the content while also having enough clear. When you have strikes target an additional enemy, like on my Ungol's Harmony here, this actually allows you to strike the target twice. And that's because you can get a specific distance away from the target to hit them with the melee strike and to also be targeting them with your beam. So you can actually double hit enemies. The easiest way to see this is to have an MTX, but when you are the specific distance away, you're gonna see here that there are 2 beams that are being shot down. We have 1 beam and 2 beams. Now, if you're only seeing the 1 beam, you're not at the right distance, right? Here we have the 1 beam. But when we have a few enemies here, you can see that I have 2 beams as soon as I get close enough to a pack of monsters, right? That second beam is key because it's almost doubling the damage that you can deal with your Lightning Strike. And it's also why I've included it in the path of building for the full DPS setup, because it is imperative that you are getting this double strike from Lightning Strike, as it gives you so much damage on single targets. If you were looking to level this build, I would level it as a Poison Concoction Pathfinder, which I have linked down in my Google Sheets down below. Or you can do this as a twinked out Hollow Palm character. You really want to level as Poison Concoction until about 85 to 90, or you're going to want to buy a 5-way boost off of TFT once you hit level 70. To get 5 runs, it costs about 3 exalts, and that gets you, I believe, to about 88 or 90, depending on what experience gear you have on. Anyways, I hope you guys have a bunch of fun with this meme build, and if you've got any questions or you need help with whatever build you've got going on, stop by my stream, twitch.tv/tripolarbear, or come join our Discord linked down below and put your build in the build discussion or questions text channel and try to get yourself some help. Anyways, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.